Hello, hello everyone. Hi, surprise. Hello. Hello, hello. I see you guys logging in. Hi everybody. Hello. I'm looking at the comments on my phone right now. A lot of you guys know I'm in my new place. So I apologize for the echo if you joined me for Back to Basics last night. I apologize about the echo in this room. You know what? It has not been fixed overnight. So we are still here. Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello, surprise. It's me. It's me. It's not the queen bee. It is the wannabe this morning. Hello, hello. Barbara. Double duty. You're right. Hello, everyone. Hey, Tony. And I know I'm missing some of you guys. Hi, Kristen. Hello, Martha. Hello. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we are having technical difficulties this morning. And so today's Watercolor Wednesday was actually a pre-recorded video because the queen bee has been helping me move, and she's actually here with me. And she's doing a bunch of stuff right now. But we had technical difficulties getting that video up this morning. And so I thought, why don't I just jump on? We'll do an impromptu Watercolor Wednesday this morning. And then you guys can be looking later this afternoon for the graphic to show you what the queen will be teaching you, and then the video following, okay? So that should be kind of around 12:31 Pacific time today, okay? So Joel's working really hard on it. He's gonna try to get all of the kinks and the bugs worked out, but I thought you guys might want to do a little something fun this morning, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna jump on and do a little impromptu live for everybody, and I thought that it would be really fun to do something with you guys and have you guys help me pick the project today. So I thought we could talk about some different vessels or structures or things like that that you want to see. And then I have my watercolor catalog here with me, and then we could pick a couple flowers and a couple foliages, and then we can walk through the process that I might use to come up with a project. So it's going to be a little bit different this morning. There might be some things I do that I'm like, ooh, I'm not crazy about that, you know, and next time I do it, I might change this or that, you know, it doesn't matter how long we've been doing it. It's a process, right? And so I just thought it would be fun to kind of bring you guys in with me and kind of walk through what I would be thinking when I'm coming up with a project. So I hope that's okay with you guys. And then for sure, later this afternoon, there will be a Watercolor Wednesday video with the queen bee, okay? So it will be pre-recorded, and you can check that out. It will be posted here on Facebook and on YouTube, and then of course the graphic. So, are we all good with that? I hope so. And I just thought it would be fun. It's a little something different instead of making you guys wait, you know, for the video and just posting a, you know, an announcement. I just thought, you know what? I love my little group over here, my AI family, my little beehive, and I'm just gonna pop on and we're gonna do something fun, okay? Because we're all among friends, right? So we're just gonna do that this morning. Now, I thought, okay, so for those of you who have the Art Impressions Watercolor Catalog 2022, you can kind of look through this if you want to. You can also, if you have a computer by you or you have all of your little stamps, your collection, you can kind of look through that and then post some suggestions in the comments about what you would like to see. And if I have it here, I don't have everything right now unpacked, but I do have quite a few sets here. So I have most things. There will be some stuff, some of the newer stuff, I believe is still packed. So we might have to find something that's kind of been released maybe even 6 months ago or something. Those things I'm sure that I have in here. So if you have a suggestion or you think about something you want to do, then we can do it, okay? So I think what I would like to do is just kind of look through the catalog and see if there's something that just kind of sticks out and makes me, you know, think, oh, I want to make something with that. So let's see, we could do a simple scene. We could do, let's see, we could do some more trees. We could do the one of the kids if you want. We could do a little structure, maybe out a landscape. And then, hi Joan, yes, there is an echo. Yep, I am in a new home right now, so I don't have much moved in. So right now I'm just here in an empty room streaming with you guys, so I apologize about the echo. It will be fixed. And I just thought, you know what, it's better for me to come on, I think, and have an echo than to not come on at all. So I hope that's okay. I hope it's not too annoying. The future videos will be much, much better, okay? All right, so I was thinking, let's see, a door maybe would be cute. We could do a truck. The truck is really fun. There was a new-ish one, let's see. There was like an old tiny truck that I haven't done yet. Let's see. Oh, a row of birdhouses. That would be cute, Marilee. That would be so cute. We could do that. And let's see. I love that idea with the birdhouses. There was a car that I thought would be really fun. Where is that? It's like one of the, it's not like a new, let's see. Maybe it is a new. Man, why am I blanking on this? It was like the old time car. Oh, here, it was the vintage car set. Do you guys, which one was it? Oh, it's this one. The vintage car. That one is so super cute too. And so we could do that one. What do you guys think about that? And then we'll think about some cute like foliage and flowers too, okay? Let's see. I like Debbie's idea with foxgloves. Okay, Andrea, I didn't see Debbie's idea with foxgloves. Will you just, because I have comments on my phone right now. Let's see. Oh, you guys thought it was the video from yesterday? Ah! Different outfit. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes, I can do flower set 1. Teach how about the little foxglove. I sure can. We could do that for sure. Okay, Barbara likes the vintage car set. Okay, yes, the car. Okay, so we're gonna do the car. Let's see if I can find it here. Of course, I say that, and then I'm like, oh wait, do I have the car? I think so. Let me see. Structures, minis, boats, whimsical, holiday birds, wheels. Oh, it's in wheels, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, do I have it? Was that it? I think I have it. Yes, I have the vintage car. Okay, we'll do the vintage car. And then, yes, Debbie, I will do the vintage, or the foxgloves. So I'll get that one out too. So I have the vintage car. And what foliage should we use? Of course, like the little teeny tiny grass. We'll use that one. Which foliage should we do? Should we do some vines? Should we do some, you know, some thicker foliage? What do you guys think? Should we do a tree around here? I want you guys to be creative and help me decide here. So I'm seeing in the comments what you guys think. Okay, so let me get the little foxgloves out. That's not the one I want. Ooh, do I have it? I hope so. I sure hope so. Yes, I have it. Debbie, I have it. The veggie cart. Oh my gosh, Kimberly Ann. I can't. The veggie cart has been a running joke because it has so many pieces in it, and I did a tutorial of it like on video 100 years ago, and it was really funny. It was not the best tutorial because I was just kind of, I mean, it was like several years ago. It was not the best. But Kimberly always laughs about the veggie cart because it takes forever to do it too. But it's really fun. It's really fun. I would teach it differently now. But that was a throwback, and we are done with the veggie cart throwback. Okay, so, these ones are the foxgloves in flower set 1. This is the foxglove, and then you stack it for the really cute foxglove. Okay. And there's different ways you can do it. Hi Karen, I know you can't stay, that's okay, totally fine. Let's see, okay. So, let's see, I need maybe another flower. So how about a small flower? We can do like the daisy bunch, or we can do like these little ones. So I'll probably choose one of these because this one's gonna be taller. So I'm gonna use one of these to kind of keep something lower to the ground. And so I'll grab one of those. I'll probably do the daisy bunch. And then I need a foliage, and I might need also a stemmed flower too. I'm just gonna grab out maybe a couple of these ones. So this is just a single stemmed flower. Okay, and that one is from set number 5009. That's the mini watercolor flowers, or the mini flower set. So that one is this one. That's the mini flower set, the single stem. Okay. And let's see. We want to do, I saw somebody say a tree behind the truck. Who said that? Who said that? Norma, so good to see you too. I always love it when you pop in here. Barbara said tree behind the truck. Okay, let's do that. We'll just do a simple tree behind the truck. And I'm gonna use, how about, let's see what tree I wanna use. I wanna do like a simple, like smaller tree. Diane Mason, oh my gosh, veggie cart, definitely a challenge. I know. Diane, you are just so amazing. So to hear you say something is a challenge, you know it's a challenge if Diane is saying it's a challenge. I'm saying, oh, it's this. I'm like, what is that big black thing in the video? it's my filming arm. Okay, so I'm gonna grab from the watercolor branches set. I'm gonna grab this one as my tree in the background. Okay, and this is for me. This is the hardest part, to kind of figure out which items I want to use in the tutorial, and then as I go on and as I'm stamping, I may say, ooh, I need that stamp. I need that stamp in here for sure, so I'm gonna go and grab it. And that may happen too as we continue to move through. And there may be something that I'm like, oh, I thought this would be cute, but maybe not so cute. And so I might change my mind in that. So I'm gonna grab from the foliage set 1. I'm gonna do the teeny tiny grass for sure. So I'm just gonna check in. Hi Mary, good to see you. I'm just gonna grab that teeny tiny grass, because that one I'm gonna use for, near the wheels and all of that. And then maybe I'll also grab the 2 vines that I used last night from foliage set 4, 5126, the 2 little vines here, okay? Norma, yes, we're just choosing as we go, because the Watercolor Wednesday video that was supposed to post today, we were having a bunch of issues. And so I thought, you know what, instead of posting a announcement that the video is coming this afternoon, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to jump on and have fun with my friends, and we'll do a little impromptu live this morning, and we'll choose together some stamps to do for a project, and then I'll just kind of take you into my thought process on how I come up with a project for something like Back to Basics. And then that'll kind of give you a little idea on how I choose the things that I choose for the tutorials, or you know, when I want to make a card or something like that. And so I'll look through the catalog, or I'll look through my stash and be like, what speaks to me today? You know, something, you know, okay, so do I want to do a pot? Do I want to do a car? Do I want to do a fence or a door? What is sort of speaking to me today? And then once I have that main thing, then I can go through and choose, okay, so I need some flowers, or I need some foliage, or I need a tree. And, you know, as I kind of think through those things, what speaks to me? What do I feel like, you know, is going to make the biggest impact with this one thing that I really want to highlight? So for today, we're going to do the vintage car. So we're kind of thinking through what things can we put in there that that will highlight our vintage car. Okay, so I just kind of go through that. Let's see who said that. Catherine, last time I organized my stamps, I couldn't find anything. Seriously, I just reorganized mine, and I have to tell you, this is like my favorite thing ever. And you know, it's not going to be for everybody, but I have it in a little box. This one I got from Target for like $12, and it has 3 little sections, and I just put it in all the stamps in the little sections, and each set, so I have the packaging, here, and then in front of the packaging, I'll have the stamp set on a little acrylic square. So then, you know, if I need a structure, I can go to structures. If I need, you know, flowers and foliage, that's going to be right in the front, right here. And so because I do the lives, and because I use the packaging a lot, I like to have the packaging with the stamp, so that I can say, okay, this is what I use, and here's the packaging, and it's really readily available. So that's what I do, but there's going to be a whole bunch of different ways to do it. You know, Ruth Ann has an amazing way of organizing her stamps. Other people do too. I've seen people do CDs and all that stuff, and you can just do what's best for you, okay? But my situation is a little bit different because I need to be able to be like, here's this one that I'm using. So that's why this works for me, but there's all kinds of ways that you can do it, okay? Okay, we have our tree, we have our flowers, we have a grass, we have a couple vines, and I think let's go and start with this, and then if we want to add stuff or take stuff away, we can definitely do that, okay? So let's go ahead and get our watercolor paper out, and for this I'm probably going to use a little bit of the white paint. I'm probably going to use some of our, I know for sure I'm going to use 177 and probably 249 for my greens, because I like to mix these a lot. I'm probably going to use the brown. I'm definitely going to use the 565. So I know that these 4 colors are what I'm going to start with. And I don't have my color wheel with me right now, but if I had my color wheel, I would look at that and think, okay, do I want to do complementary colors, like maybe purple and yellow? Do I want to do analogous colors, like maybe a green, a blue, and a teal? Do I want to do like a triangle, a triangular scheme that would involve like maybe like a red, blue, and yellow, you know, like primary colors. So you could get your color wheel out. There is a video from Back to Basics on how to use a color wheel, and went into super depth on how to do that. And if you want to do that, go check that out. I don't know why today, but I'm really drawn to this really nice kind of this, it's like a tealy color. This is super pretty. This is number 346. And I'm drawn to that one today, and maybe, let's see, maybe keep it kind of simple and do another blue. So I can start with this and maybe do, maybe add some of this bright green too. Now you can, so this is so far what I have. I may change that. I may be like, you know what, I need like a purple or something. I'm gonna need actually probably a purple or something for the foxgloves. So I can just add this, which would be really cute anyway. So here is like my starting colors, and for right now I'm going to put everything else aside so that I don't try to go grabbing for other colors, because for me, when I have my colors just readily accessible, I tend to grab and then it feels really chaotic, okay? So I'm just gonna start with this pile. I may or may not use all of them. I may just use a few, we'll see. All right, and of course I have my twin tones. Here's the Dr. P.H. Martin's, I'm probably gonna use that. I have my little mono sand eraser just in case. And my brushes, I've got a number 4 and a number 1. My acrylic blocks and my, I'm also gonna need a little bit of Post-it tape to mask off the card when I stamp the tree in the background, okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn our camera around and we're gonna get started, okay? So here we go, you guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Obviously, I've never done anything like this before. So I think it's gonna be an adventure for all of us. And just give me a moment while I turn the camera around because I've got to kind of rearrange my little arm here and all of that. So here we go on a little roller coaster ride. Okay, here we go. And I've got my little setup here and we'll get you guys hooked in. Okay, so here we go. I am going to take the Canson watercolor paper now, and here's all the little stamps that I have chosen so far. While I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead, of course we need the dots too, right? Obviously, those are already on an acrylic block. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a couple of these 2 acrylic blocks while I'm here, and I haven't put away the Back to Basics ones from last night, so forgive me. Let's see. Got one for here for the little grass. I have these 2 taller, like ornamental grasses from last night. We might use these too. These are in the same set as the vines. So set number 4, foliage set 4. And then this one, this is gonna need a bigger block. So I'm just gonna grab the 3x3. If I have one available here. Got all my little acrylic blocks so packed away. Here's a 3x3. And just gonna put that on here just so she's ready to go. And then I have my little flower. And then for the foxglove, I will just take one of these off for now. So I'll show you how to do the foxglove before we even start, because that was a question Debbie had, and it was a great question. So the foxgloves are really fun because you can kind of stack them. And actually this big block is gonna have to house the truck or the little car first. So we'll put that one on here. And so I'm gonna take a little practice paper. I'll use the same one I used last night. And when I stamp this foxglove, you can stamp it a few different ways. The first way is to do it in like on top of itself, which is really cute. So kind of like that. And then you can put like your little vines in here if you want. You can put a couple little vines and then have it like that. Or I like to use it in a garland too. So if you have a little garland like that, and then you take the foxglove and you can stamp it just in your little garland, which I think is so cute. So there's a lot of different ways you can use these. But this is the way it was kind of intended to do it, kind of stacking on top of itself. And maybe there's another one back in here. Kind of like that. And then you can put your greens in here a little bit more. Maybe there's a couple greens on this side and maybe a little bit up in there even. So you can do however you want to do it, but that's how we use the foxglove. Admittedly, I don't use it nearly enough. It is so cute. There's a lot of stamps that I just don't use enough, but I should, because they're just so fun. There's just so many options now that you don't always grab for these ones that have been around a while, but they're old golds. And then I just can add my water to that. So I'll just zoom in a little bit here and you can see. And then you can add your water to your vines down here. Okay. Isn't that cute? So it's a little bit different. And then of course, over here, if you add your water to your little vines, like that. And then the foxgloves on either side, or however you want to do it on your little garland. So that's how I use the foxgloves. They're really, really fun. Like I said, I need to use them more often, but I'm so glad you asked, because this is a really, really cute stamp that is super versatile. And that's why it's in that first set. So those stamps that are in the #1 foliage and flowers, those are the ones that you're gonna probably be using the most, okay? So it's a really, really good one. All right, now I am going to grab that watercolor paper again. And Tina, the foxglove is in foliage or flower set 1, okay? All right, Ruth Ann, do you dip and pinch off every time? Every time I do like when I add the water, yes and no. I guess I do it when I'm doing like foliage and flowers. So sorry, this is white from last night, but it's fine still. I'll dip once, wipe, and then kind of pinch off a little bit and then go in, because if I don't pinch off, at least with the foliage and flowers, I'm getting too much. Now, if I'm doing like a water or something like that, and I need a little bit more dampness on my brush, I won't pinch off. But it just kind of depends. It's kind of a, you know, we're all going to kind of pick up different amounts of water. So if you're picking up a whole bunch of water every time, you're probably going to pinch off every time. Good question. All right, so I'm going to take my little vintage car, and I am going to use the 969 and the 565. Okay, so I'm just going to ink both of these onto the car. And I'm going to go ahead and do the 969 first, because I do want this to have a little bit more of a blue tinge to it. So I'm going to go the brown first. And then I'm going to go the 565 over the top of that. And this is going to be really dark, so I need to stamp this off. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it off one time on my little practice paper, and I'm going to stamp it off again because it's still too dark. That's better. It's still a little bit dark. So I'm going to stamp it off one more time, and then I'm going to huff. I'll just huff on it and stamp it down. There we go. So we have our little car now. Do you see the difference between how dark that first image is and then this one? This is what we're looking for, because if I were to, oh goodness, Gwendolyn, my dog, I'm just gonna let her in real quick. Sorry, she's being sassy. And you know what, this is impromptu anyway. Oh, thank you. The queen bee is here. She's still helping me move. But this is impromptu. You be nice to Oma. Wendy was like not having her come and try to pick her up. So we just went ahead and let her in. You guys, welcome to Impromptu Art Impressions. Welcome to our daily lives. Okay, so she brought me actually some fresh water, so I'm just going to dump this into an old coffee cup that we had coffee in this morning. And I'm going to rinse out my water here. That was so nice of her. She's watching, obviously. Okay, you be nice to Oma. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have fresh water here thanks to the queen bee. All right. I can't really see your comments very well. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything, but I can't see them so well. Sorry, you guys. Okay, but as I was saying, you have the dark lines and then the lighter lines. So we want to go with the lighter lines because when we add water to this, it's going to just get, it's going to get too much color into this car. So we want the lighter lines, and we can always add color from our palette, okay? So I'm going to grab my brush and I'm going to begin to pull out some of the shadows on here, okay? So I'm going to grab my little number 1 and just a pinch of water, a little bit of water. Okay, so I'm going to just pinch off a little bit of that water, and we're going to go into these little lines here. Now the lines are meant as a color source. So we don't want to follow the lines. We don't want to trace. Okay, they're just used as kind of a grab and go kind of thing. So when we add our water to this, we're using them to pull out the color. We're not following along these lines. So I'm just gonna kind of stay under here. And then these are domes. So if you were watching last night, you remember the rocks, how those were also domes. So the top of a dome is going to be highlighted, okay? And I'm just going to leave the highlight on top of that. Are they fenders? I don't know what these are. I think they're fenders. Wheel caps, wheel covers, not caps. I know it's on a wheel cap. And then we'll just do a little bit over here. We'll just grab the color from the line, and this is gonna be dark under here. Okay, we're gonna grab the color from the line and pull it out, leaving this top portion highlighted. Okay, and then I can just bring this color down a little bit, leaving highlights in all the areas that I'm coloring, even if it's on the side. I don't want to color it in just solid, okay? Who said that? Whoops, oh no. Whoops. Oh my. Let's see. Oh, I just missed it. Sorry, somebody said, yes, they're fenders. Thank you very much. I can't go back on my comments for some reason. It's just, it won't let me scroll back up. So I apologize to whomever that was. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of color down in here. And this is also another dome. So we're gonna keep the top of that highlighted while the bottom area is shaded in. Same thing here. And in between these little guys, I'm gonna do this dark, and then we'll do a little bit more contrast at the end when we go back in with our twin tone. Okay, underneath in the wheel cap, that's gonna be dark. This is gonna be dark in here. Okay. And then of course the little wheels, these are gonna be dark on the bottom, and then right underneath the little fender. Dark here and dark there. Okay. But here we can put on our steering wheel. It's also a dome, right? So we're gonna have a little shadow on either side, and then the top of the steering wheel will be highlighted. A little bit of a line here, and come back in here. Okay, so we have the base of our shading in, and I'll just zoom in a little bit. Now I can take off of my palette. So depending on the colors that I want to use, I do want to keep this more gray. So I have some colors from last night on my palette. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get a different spot. This really is impromptu, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to grab just a little bit on this side of my palette. And I'm gonna add number 565 and 969. And I wanna make a gray. Maybe I'll add a little bit of that 526 as well. Because maybe I want a little bit of that blue in there too, we'll see. We'll just see. I like to put it on my palette so I can be like, okay, do I want that? It just gives me another little visual, okay? And I'm gonna mix the 565 and the 969 to get a gray. And in the areas that I know are gonna be darker, I'm just going to pop in that color. Like on the wheels here. This is gonna be darker under here. This is gonna be darker in here. Okay, under here. That's gonna be dark. In between. We can just put a line right across the bottom here and right across the top actually. And then blend out. And I love these little brushes to blend out. And I can just grab a little bit of water to blend out. Just a little bit of water goes a long way when you're blending out. And then this darker color can go over here and in the wheel. A little bit of that gray down in here. Not too much, but just enough to kind of offset even more the contrast. So I need to mix a little bit more of this. Okay, and here's gonna be dark. So it's kind of inside, it's really shaded in from the sun there. And here's a little overhang, so we could actually bring the shadow all the way over, because this is kind of overhanging that front portion. And like I said, we're just kind of going along and being like, okay, you know what, I like this, I don't like this. So this is just my thought process when I'm coming up with a tutorial for something like Back to Basics or Watercolor Wednesday. And I'll just kind of think through the things that I'm doing. I've actually never, I don't think, and if I have, it's been a very long time that I've done this cute little vintage car. I don't know that I've ever actually done it. So this is a fun one. I've wanted to do it, so that's why it kind of spoke to me today. But I don't think I've ever actually painted this guy. So we'll just do a little bit more of a shadow right underneath there. And this is going to be dark in here and under this fender. And we'll blend that out. Just blend it out. A little bit more in there. Even though this is inside, I still want a little highlight on that steering wheel. Okay. So we're getting some nice dark shadows in here. As many of you know, I love a good contrast. So I take the time to really build up those shadows to be really nice and dark, because I think it's worth it to have that really strong contrast in here. But it's up to you. Not everybody likes that really dark contrast. And if you don't, it's totally fine. Okay. You don't have to build up so much if you're not into that. that can just come down like that. All right, so our little car is kind of coming to life now, huh? It is just so cute. And when we take the time to just put these in, it really does kind of pop off of the paper. When you take the time to just put in these little details, it really does make a big difference. And then at the end, we'll come back in with our little twin tone, and we will put in some of our highlights our deep shadows, okay? Elaine, I'm using a number 1 brush. Number 1 brush. Mary, good to see you again. Okay, so now, you know what? I think I do want a little bit of that blue in here. That blue is just so, so cute. I am gonna mix it just a bit with that 565. Just a little bit, just so it's not so bright. Get a little bit more of that 565. I love this 526, but it can be pretty bright. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of that blue with my number 1 brush still, and I'm just going to drop it into the little car. And I don't need to do every little area because my brain, or our brains, will kind of put together that this is a blue little vintage car. And I take a little bit of water and just blend that out. Does not need to be perfect, thankfully. It absolutely does not need to be perfect. Just a little bit of that blue on there. And we'll do the same thing on the fenders as well. Okay. So 526 and 565 together. I'm just going to drop this in here, and you know, even though we did these shadows before, they're really supporting the color, so we don't have to go back in with so much of the blue because it's so well supported with the shadows that we did earlier. So I'm just blending this out with a little bit of water. Cute, so cute. I'm glad I made this choice. So, you know, you could do this little car any color you want to. Any color. Really, really like this blue. Okay, but I'm not gonna go crazy on it. I am gonna leave, you know, the rest of the areas highlighted. And then at the end, we'll come back in with our twin tone and really darken up some of these other areas, okay? So now we can think about putting in our little tree in the background. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit. And there's a couple ways you can do your mask. I like to just keep it really simple and just put a little bit, so I have the Post-it tape here. I'm just gonna take a little bit, and I like to keep it simple, and I would probably do something like this and then just stamp the tree back there. But you can also do something like, here's my little card, and we'll put it on, where's my little practice paper? I guess it doesn't matter. I can do something like this too, and like stamp this down. And then just cut along the line. And I don't even think I have scissors with me right here to do that. But you can cut along this line right here, and then you'll have a much more, you know, lined up mask. But it's up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to keep it simple like I normally do. and we'll go with that. So I'm just gonna do this. Not too concerned here. Okay. And I'm gonna take my tree, and I'm just gonna put that right on here. Now, when I do trees, you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it all brown and then stamp that down and do green leaves, or you can do just the bottom brown and then the top part green, which is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take the 969 and just ink up this bottom area with the brown. And then I'm gonna go in with the 171 and ink up this top part. Just so that when I add my water to the leaves in the tree, it is gonna blend out really nice with that green instead of having it be like a greenish brown. So I'm gonna actually stamp this off one time because I feel like I got quite a bit of ink on there, and I did. So let's put him like back in here. Okay, and don't worry about it if it doesn't come down. You can always take your twin tone. So this is my brown twin tone, and I can just bring it down. It's kind of neat how you can just take these little twin tones and just draw in these areas that maybe got cut off. Just like that. Okay, so the top of the branches were 177, Catherine. 177. And then the bottom was the 969. Okay, so we have our little tree here, and then let's put some foliage in the tree, and we can use the little vines here because this tree is going to be pretty close to us. Depending on how far we want this tree to be away from the car, we would do like really teeny tiny little leaves, or we could do bigger leaves to set it closer to us. So it's all about perspective. If you want this back in the hills, it's gonna have tiny little leaves. If it's closer up, you're gonna be able to see each leaf individually, or each leaf. So I'm gonna take number 249. So I put the 177 in the branch, but I'm gonna do the vine or the leaves with the 249 because when I add my water, it's gonna mix together these two greens and be just so pretty. And I'm just gonna ink half of this for right now. And just put a few little leaves in here. I don't want too many, I don't need too many, just a few. And you know, I always say that and then I get stamping and I'm like, wow, I did a lot of leaves. And if that's you too, it's okay. Don't worry, you're right there with me. And maybe just a couple little ones up in here. So we'll keep that really, really simple and nice and close to the truck or the little car. And then I'll take my brush. I can use the number 4 brush for this. So I'm gonna get that number 4 brush nice and wet, open up those bristles, let the air out. This baby was like bone dry. So I'm just gonna dab around here. And keep in mind, you don't have to put so many vines in here because when you dab, that color's gonna move and it's gonna look like little leaves in here. So see how that's kind of looking like little leaves. And I like how this is the direction this is going for right now. So in my mind, I would think, okay, if I have to redo this, I really like how this tree is kind of sitting with the car. So even if I change stuff up back in here, I'm gonna keep the tree. Because it kind of looks a little bit old-timey like that little car. I can take, and maybe we'll put some, before I do that actually, I want to put like a little background in here, because you see these windows? These you can either fill up with flowers and foliage and just have them kind of sticking out everywhere. On the packaging, I believe that's how the Queen did it. It's just so, it was so cute like that. So you can do it, yep. So she has, here's, our packaging is just so awesome. But she has all these little flowers and foliage kind of sticking out here, and you can totally do that if you want to. I'm gonna have our landscape kind of come out the back, and then you're gonna be able to see it back here. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is just connect some of these little lines so that we can bring in this little door here, okay? But it is kind of meant to be sort of sitting out, kind of left alone out in somebody's field. It's, you know, it's not running. So it's going to be kind of broken down anyway, and that's totally fine. So I'm gonna take the number 1 brush again, and I'm gonna put a little bit of my 177 on here. And then I'll put in a sky while I'm here too, so 565. And you can do a sky with the 526 as well, if you want to. So I'm just gonna take that 177. And you guys know I like to do these little like background, you know, little hills and stuff in the background, because I just think it adds so much to the composition. If you can kind of set it somewhere, you know, put your little image within a setting. So maybe, you know, this is gonna come back like this, and we're gonna see some of that hill in the background. And it's okay that this is open, it's fine. Maybe that's just, you know, wear and tear on the car. And I'll just bring in this green back here. And when I put the line back behind the tree and higher than where it would be planted, that also brings the tree forward, closer to us, okay? And then I'll take that number 4 brush and add a little bit more green with the larger brush, just so I can wash it in. Just kind of wash it in here. Okay. And that's called our horizon line, way in the back. And so things that are closer than the horizon line, they're gonna be closer to us. Now, if this tree was set behind that horizon line, but I use these leaves, that would look really off, right? But if I set the tree behind the horizon line and I put a green in front of it like that, but made the leaves really teeny tiny, that would actually look like it was set back behind this hill, right? But because the horizon line is behind it, that tree is nice and close to us. And then I'll take a little bit of the 565 and just put in some of our sky back in here. So a little bit of the 565, just kind of dab that in. I'm gonna put some in the window back here. It's okay that I was gonna put a line back in that corner, but I don't think we need it. I think we can just go without it and just have fun with it kind of being open back there. And then as this comes to a triangle, so is my sky. I'm not gonna keep my sky really wide up here when this is coming down to a point. Okay. And I'll just put this down here. Notice my sky is not going over my tree either. I'm just keeping it nice and low down here by the car. Okay. Now we can put in some of our flowers and our foliage. So I'm gonna start with my little teeny tiny grass in the front. Barb, no, this is the Canson watercolor paper. So I use the mixed media paper on things that are like, you know, the trifolds or the funny people or the matchbooks, anything that's interactive or anything that's not specifically watercolor, I will use that mixed media paper because it's just so much thinner and I can fold it and it's very malleable. It scores really nice. Unlike this, it's just too thick. But good question. Okay, so I'm gonna take the 177 with my little teeny tiny grass, and I'm just gonna put this right here near the wheels. We're just gonna kind of bury this little car in grass because it's not functioning right now. It is stuck. And I'm following the line that I created, this diagonal line. I'm following that line. All of my lines, so if I were to take like a ruler, let's see if I have a ruler. I don't know if I have a ruler, but I have an acrylic block. So if I were to take my acrylic block, my sky is angled this way, my horizon line is angled this way, my grass is angled this way, my car is a little bit angled that way too. So everything is following the angle, the same angle. Actually, I was not on. So my horizon line is angled, my grass is angled like that, my sky is angled like that. Everything, the car is angled. So I'm keeping that same angle on everything because that's what your eye likes. It likes to see that things are cohesive, okay? So we're gonna take my little brush and we're just gonna pull this grass out and just make it kind of wild in here. And I'm just gonna take that and bring it right over the top. Don't be afraid to kind of pull things over the top of what you just colored. Okay, and then I want this to still angle down, so I'm gonna bring my brush and just continue that line. See how that just makes it more cohesive when we keep that angle. Okay. Like that. And do something like this. And keep that the same angle. And I can kind of bring this down to a little bit more water. And just keep that same angle going. When you do an angle like that with the horizon line, it just adds a little bit of interest. Okay, so we have our little truck now. He's kind of buried in this grass, okay? And then I'm just gonna bring just a little bit of this brown down. Okay. And I wanna bring a little bit of a shadow under here with the 565, and I can do that just a little bit here. So we want to keep it right under there, the same angle, just a little bit of a shadow, maybe a little, just a touch darker under here. That just makes it look like it's still sitting up off the ground a little bit. Not much though, huh? We can blend that out with our brush. Okay. Now we need to add in some of our little flowers. Now that daisy bunch I feel like is gonna be kind of big, and actually the foxgloves too maybe, because if I take that little example I showed you, that's pretty big next to the truck. So I don't know that I want to use that, but I'm glad that I was able to at least show you that. I don't know that, I think it will be a little bit too big in here. So I need to grab some smaller flowers, maybe from the teeny tiny or the mini flower set for this one, and then hold on to these ones for another tutorial. And that happens a lot. I'll grab out things that I just really like, and then I'm like, I don't know. So, Debbie, I apologize. The perspective is just going to be a little bit off with that, I think. Okay, so I want the mini flowers. So I have all of these ones to choose from, and I can grab, maybe this one would be cute. Actually, this one is the one from the mini flowers. So I want to use that one and not the bigger one. And maybe, actually, let's just stick with these ones for now. And then if we want to add in a little bit more, we can. But that's kind of the process, is you just try things out and see if it works well. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's okay. We can have a plan and then just know that that plan might change. So 346, I'm going to use, and I'm just going to do a little bit of these. I don't need tons of them, but they're just really cute, and I can kind of just put them around here. But do you see how much smaller these are in comparison to, let me just show you, in comparison to the foxglove, how much smaller? Because if I were to put this right next to that wheel, look how big, it would just overtake the truck. And I didn't see that initially. So sometimes it just takes you kind of getting in there and being like, okay, you know, is this going to actually work in perspective with my composition? And then I feel like I need some other color in here too, maybe a little bit of purple. So I can use that cute little stemmed flower and put maybe some purple flowers in here. Be really cute. And I'll use the 249 for the stem. And I'm not going to go all the way down. I don't need these to be super tall. Okay. And this little, I can keep them just really small like that. And 249. I don't know who said it, but they said foxgloves grow to 5 feet tall. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I had no idea. My dog, she's huffing at me right now. That's like her thing. She likes to huff. Shh. No. Shh. I'm gonna boot you out, girl. No. No. Pomeranian life, you guys. Quiet. No. Come here. Okay, I'm gonna just put her out of the room real quick. She's just huffing and puffing. Come on. Go get treats. Okay. Sorry about that. I think the blooms, I think you could still get an idea of a foxglove, even if it was 5 feet tall. But you want the blooms to be smaller. The blooms, I think, on this foxglove are just too big. But if you grabbed just like one of these or two of these and then built it up, I feel like the blooms would be in perspective with the car if you wanted to do that, because that would be really cute. Okay. So I'm gonna take my brush and just see how we're doing so far. I know I'm gonna need to add a little bit more contrast into my truck, that's for sure, especially with these really bright flowers right in front. I don't want my truck to kind of get lost back there, so I'm gonna need to build that up a little bit. And I can already see that just as I'm, as I'm dabbing here. We'll put a little bit of these purple flowers, so cute. We'll just touch the stems, or not the stems, the leaves on these little guys. Really, really cute. So let's go ahead and get back to our truck. I want this to be more rich. I want it to have more contrast. And you know, initially it kind of did, and then we put in these darker elements, and now it kind of feels like it's sort of getting lost back here. So I do need to add a little bit more color, you know, whether that's the blue or whether it's more shading. But I think what I'm gonna do is go with the 526 and just add a little bit more of that 526 in there. I'm gonna start with my brush, my number 1. And I'm just gonna bring in some brighter color because I think that's what we need, is just the brighter element, because then it won't get lost. It is a little bit of a more dull color, but because I put in that teal, which is really a very strong color, it does need a little bit more, I think, in here in the way of brightness. So I'm just gonna take that 526, and again, this is just my process when I'm going through and like planning something. So your process may be a little bit different, but I just wanted to kind of clue you in on what I do in terms of planning from the overhang. So this is kind of hanging over the top of that. So this is going to be darker, just right under there where that overhang is. And then I can bring this. So we have our highlight right on top. And I can see this is already kind of jumping out a little bit further. And that makes me happy. So we made the right choice to kind of brighten this up a little bit so that it can compete a little bit more with the brightness of the flowers that we put in. And I'm just gonna bring that color out here. And just deepen up these areas here. And this can still be highlighted on top. The very top will still be highlighted, okay? And then down in here, I wanna darken up these wheels more. So I'm gonna grab an N25, which is that really, really nice dark, kind of a charcoal. It's closer to a black. I mean, the closest to black that I probably would want to get as far as like brushing color on. And I'm going to come in here and just darken up under these wheels. See how much that brings into the shading, and it gives it a little bit more strength. You really do kind of have to adjust your plan when you bring in bright colors like that. And sometimes it just, things, you know, you pick stuff and you just don't feel like it goes, and that's totally fine. It's like no big deal. And I'm gonna bring this line just all the way down. It's okay if it's not perfect. Just so that we have a bit of a connection here. Okay. And then I'm just gonna bring a little bit of that color in here because this is shadowed in, it's shaded in, it's gonna push back into the grill a little bit. And this is, I'm liking this a lot more, the contrast, because it stands away from the flowers just a little bit more, and I feel like that's what I needed. So I'm gonna take my brown twin tone now, and I'm gonna put in even more contrast, just really close to the areas that I want to be really dark, like right in there in the grill. Right here under the wheel, I want that to be really dark. Same thing here. Because it kind of separates it out a little bit more, and you just get this nice contrast, and it also kind of gives your eye a break, because it tells it where those deep shadows are. Because if you don't do this, if you don't create at least a little bit of contrast, it feels too much the same. It just feels a little bit too much the same if you don't put in some of these, you know, nice dark elements. There's a little handle. Maybe there's another one here. This is going to be dark in here. Just makes such a difference. I just love that. I love putting in these darker elements. What did I see? A question here. I would layer navy or another shade of blue cardstock and use double stick tape. Oh, somebody asking about how you would back this, maybe. You know, Georgia, I was talking to Georgia the other day at the warehouse sale, and I just loved how she backed her cards. And Tony, that's a really good idea too, to use a dark. And that's what Georgia said too. She really liked using a dark paper. It doesn't matter which color, as long as it, you know, is complementary to your project. But she likes using a dark paper to kind of make the image pop. So she will do, like, for example, this one, like maybe she would do like a dark purple behind it, or a really dark blue behind this, so that it would really pop up. And then she would do like a white behind that. So it's really just up to you how you want to, you know, do yours. And I'm going to do a dark line actually right back in here, because that's going to be the inside of the card. But it's up to you how you do it. But I loved how she had, that really dark contrast, and then the lighter paper back behind it. So Georgia, I hope I explained that as well as you did to me. But it was so beautiful. And, you know, we may be naturally doing that, but we don't always think about, you know, why we do it. But it really does kind of pop up the image. Okay. Now I think I'm going to put in just a little bit more of the 565. So once again, you know, you guys, this is a process. This is what I do when I'm thinking about projects. Is I'll kind of play, and then as I go, I'll be like, oh, you know, I want to try this or that. And so bear with me. You know, this is just this is a normal process that I do when I'm like, okay, I like that, but I want to change this, or I want to do that. So this is normal for me to kind of come back in and reevaluate things, and maybe add in a little bit more of a certain color. Like right now, I like a little bit more of the 565 in here with that blue, because I think it adds just a little bit more dimension. And this would definitely be a Watercolor Wednesday project, just with all the shading and everything. So if you're a beginner and you're watching and you're thinking, oh gosh, I'm just a beginner, you know, this much shading and this much contrast is probably not the place to start. I would just start simple, get your, you know, learn how to shade in the fenders on your you know, on your wheels, how to get your tires nice and dark so that you have a nice contrast in there. That's what I would focus on. This is more for, you know, people who have been doing it a little bit who, you know, can put in some of these shadows, kind of see where the shadows will go. And so don't feel overwhelmed if you don't feel like you can do this yet. It's okay. It's not a super simple project, that's for sure. Okay, and then maybe, you know, maybe I want a little bit more of the 177 in this tree. So I'm gonna take 177, and I feel like it will just kind of tie in everything a little bit more, because I don't want this to feel like it's kind of out in left field. And then maybe I'll put a couple little vines like in here too. That would be really cute, just to have this nice and full, like it's just buried. You could even do a couple little vines like up in here, kind of sticking out of the car, like blackberries would grow up in here. I like that. I like this. This is what happens is you kind of keep going, and then you're like, oh, I really like the way that kind of pulled everything together. And I do feel like that with these little vines. I do kind of feel like it sort of pulled everything together just a little bit more. And then especially having that color now in the trees. The branches that I did with the 177, it just wasn't strong enough, that olive green. And so bringing it in a little bit more into the branches, I feel like really tied it in a little bit more. Cute. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little dots. Of course, we gotta put in our little dots. And I'll use the 565. Ooh, who said that? Birds in the sky would be so cute, Catherine. We can do that if I have them. Ooh, I don't know if I have them. I don't think I have those ones that I want. That are the really tiny ones that are flying. I kind of don't think I have those ones. Critters. Birds. Do I? I don't. Darn it. Would have been a great idea. Shoot. Well, for next time. Good idea. Okay, so I'm going to do the darker dots in the darker areas. And then as the ink kind of comes off, I can bring it out a little bit further. And just kind of let it fade out into the background. Okay. So, there was a question. It is easier placement if they're in the corner of the stamp. What was the question? Why do you put your stamp on the edge corner of the block instead of the center? Yes, it kind of helps me know where the edge is. It's just kind of a habit too. I like to be able to use the corner like for one of my vines. So when I put my vine like this and I turn it, that corner is my guide and I know where I'm going with it. Not everything is going to be like that, but like even in this corner, you know, I've colored just this side, and so I'm using that corner as my guide when I go to stamp it down. So that's why I use it. Really good question. We've been doing that for a long time, and it's been really, really helpful, especially because, you know, the stamps don't have a lot of, or they don't have any image on this backside. And so when you can use the corner as a guide, it just kind of becomes second nature, and you don't really need the other image on the backside. Okay, so I'm gonna use a little bit of this white, and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that Dr. Martin's Peach White. And I'm just gonna put a little bit in here and just kind of maybe put some white flowers right at the bottom here. Cute, cute. How adorable is that? Oh, I can't. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. And then I can also do a nice bright highlight right on the grill. And you can do this if you accidentally color in too much and you need a highlight. You can definitely come back through and do that. So I'm just putting these little white flowers in here. So cute. And I can do it in the trees too. Or the tree. And I'm just dipping a little bit in, getting just a little bit on my brush. And very gently, just very, very lightly, putting these little dots down. This was so fun. We got to do this again. This was really fun. It really makes you kind of think on your feet because you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to mess up, obviously, on live. But, it was really fun to kind of check in with you guys and see what you wanted to see and what ideas that you guys had. And so we'll definitely, if you want to do this again, definitely leave a comment below letting me know that you would like to do it again. And who knows what we'll come up with next time, right? So I'm just going to get the white paint out of my brush because taking good care of the white paint, for how long will it last? A long time. As long as you keep your lid on it, it'll last a long time. It's also water soluble, so even if something dries out, you can go back over it with water. You can mix it with water, put a little bit of water in your little glass, and it will reconstitute that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this. As always, if you guys want to win this, just let me know in the comments. I am at my new place now, so I'm not sure how long it will take me to be able to send this out to somebody. It might be a little bit of time. And while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to add a little bit more contrast in this tree. But it might be a little bit of time, but I'm absolutely happy to still give it away. If you want to win it, just let me know. Please don't expect it like super, super soon. But there will definitely still be a winner. I'm happy to give this away. So as long as you don't mind a little bit of a wait, definitely leave in the comments that you would like to win, and we will choose a winner for this guy, okay? So thank you so much. I'm going to flip the camera back around and I will say my goodbyes to you all. Okay, so just one moment. I'm just gonna move this little arm out of the way. Okay, I'll just put me back on here. Hello. Okay, you guys, was that fun? I thought it was fun. I was a little bit nervous to do it, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. It'll be definitely a unique experience for me, just kind of thinking on my feet and seeing what works. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I'm glad you guys were able to kind of steer me in the right direction. And I loved all of your ideas, the ones I was able to see in the comments. And I'll definitely go back through and read the comments again. But just another reminder, the Watercolor Wednesday video will still be on today. So it's going to be, 1 o'clock Pacific time. check it out. It's really, 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 really cute. So don't miss out on it, okay? This is not the Watercolor Wednesday video. This is just my Watercolor Wednesday fun impromptu because we were having technical difficulties. So we just thought, I'm gonna get on, I'm gonna jump on, I'm gonna be with my little AI beehive and have a good time with you guys. So definitely check out the video. It's really, really, really good. Joel will be posting the graphic and so that you can see what it's gonna be. And then of course the video will come up right after that, okay? I love you guys. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Again, if you wanna win this little composition, definitely comment below that you want to win it, and somebody will. And I will see you guys next week for Back to Basics, Tuesday night, 5 p.m. PST, with another fun project. See you guys. Take care of each other. I love you so much. Stay creative and keep smiling. See ya.